Welcome guys, Jake here from Positive Existence Personal Training, and welcome to tonight's webinar. We are going to rip straight into it. So we've got some people live on the line and others of you who will be listening to the recorded version. Either way is all good. Just make sure we rip into it, and when I ask you questions that you get involved. So give me 2 seconds while I start this guy up. So really simple, what we're talking about today is setting some goals and targets for the next 8 weeks, okay? Now it looks like my computer's being a bit slow. Here we go. Thought my computer had a heart attack for a second. So setting your brain's GPS, in other words, figuring out exactly what we're looking for over the next 8 weeks, looking to achieve, and working out a way to do it just like a GPS would tell us which way to go when we're driving our car. Okay. Now, before we start, a couple of things to run through. Everyone's got a little I know button on their left ear. We want to make sure that we switch it off so that if you find yourself at any point in tonight's session saying those two words together, we want to be really careful and avoid it. So switch your I know button off, really, really important. We need to interact. So if I ask a question, make sure you pop your answer in there as quick as you can. If you've got a question, make sure you ask, so that we can interact and making sure that you're getting out of the session what's most important to you. Okay, really important to have fun because we're all giving up a bit of time, and we only get one crack at this life, so time's pretty precious. So let's make the most of it. And last but not least, what I want you to do is spend a little bit of time working out what you want for the 3 things that you want to get out of tonight. Pop them into your little questions part where you can send through, and we can discuss those so that we can make sure that I'm changing tonight and adapting it to what you guys are after. Okay, so a little bit of time to do that. All right. Cool. So when you've thought of something, just type it in. If you're having dramas there, you can pop your hand up. There'll be a little hand tab. All right, cool. So we have got some setting realistic goals and finding the motivation to do it, so to achieve it. Okay, that's cool. We'll definitely be covering that. And simply set some goals. So perfect. All right, too easy. We can handle that. Now, I will say that was only one thing. If the question was 3 things. So let's see if there's anything else that you guys want to cover. Now's your chance to throw it out there so that I can help as best I can. Okay. Knowing what goals to set. Yeah, cool. So just getting a bit of help in terms of what should we set goals around and that kind of jazz, and being able to stick to it. And that's really key, because anyone can write a number down on a page and say they want to do it, but sticking to it is where all the magic happens, and we've got a bit of a formula for that later. Okay, now we're going to cover off on our goal setting structure. Okay, really important that when we set our goals right from the start, that they're following a formula that is proven to be successful, as opposed to just making it up as we go. So our SMART principle. So we start with the letter S, and that stands for specific. So instead of losing weight, we're losing a certain amount of weight. So is it 5 kilos? Is it 10? Is it 100? Whatever. Measurable. So it can be weight, because we can measure that. It can be a bridge time, like a plank. It could be a run time for a certain distance. Something that we can measure accurately. It could be like a waist measurement. Achievable. So no point setting a goal to lose 20 kilos in 4 weeks, because when you get, you might lose 5 and then all of a sudden you're only a quarter of the way to your goals. Pretty demotivating, and you're likely to go backwards. Okay. Realistic. So pretty similar to achievable. It just fits in with the word SMART really well. So we add that in there. And time framed, which is the most important in my eyes, because it's easy to put things off, especially these days when we've got so much happening. So we need to have a time frame to get it done, similar to your school assignment. So if you ever had a school assignment without a due date, there would have been a good chance that you wouldn't have got it done. Same thing with our goals. Okay, it needs to have a due date to force us into some kind of action. Okay, cool. And Linda's chasing some ideas for new goals to set as well from before. So we'll definitely workshop that. Now, before we start, a few really key things to go through with you, just to get you in the right frame of mind before we kick into it. So, your feelings towards setting goals. So if you're at home listening to the recording, you're just going to drop these down. You guys that are on live, you're going to pop them through in your questions tab. So your feelings towards setting goals in general. So some people feel really good about it. Other people get a bit apprehensive. Other people don't like it at all. Other people just might not know what they're doing or how to do it. So how are you feeling? Good? Okay, cool. All right. Now, right now, so, okay, cool. Now, here's a good one. Linda likes them. I remember, Linda, correct me if I'm wrong, but you might not have always liked them when we first started doing them. So that's great. You're now feeling, so how are you feeling? Are you feeling excited about just ripping into it, getting some goals and getting an action plan in place and going out there and doing it? Are you, apprehensive? Are you nervous? Or is this something that's out of your comfort zone, or are you okay with it? So just important to check in with how we're feeling right now, just so that we know what frame of mind we're in before we start. Because if you're one of those people that gets excited like me when you're setting goals, you can tend to set big, huge goals that are possibly bordering on the unachievable side. So it's important, from my point of view, to be able to possibly hold the reins a little bit back on you there, and vice versa if you tend to be a little bit apprehensive. Okay, cool. Now, all we're going to do is really simply acknowledge how we're feeling there and try and figure out where it's coming from. So, if you're excited because you just want to take over the world and set all the goals that are going to help you do it, or if you're apprehensive because you've set goals in the past and haven't quite achieved it, really important just to figure out where that's coming from and why is it here, so that again we can figure out what frame of mind you're in, and we can work on getting you nice and clear before we start. Because if you're apprehensive for a certain reason, we might be able to just uncover what that is and realise that, hey, we don't have to be that way, and move on from it. Rather than letting it affect our goals when we set them, and obviously that will affect our action plan and the results that we get. Okay, cool. So, time to let go of a few things here, just so that we can clear the slate, ready to rock and roll in about 2 minutes for our planning stage of tonight. So these goals are yours and no one else's. So trying to set a goal to impress other people doesn't tend to work very well. Okay, it's very short-lived motivation, so we want to avoid that. Letting go of not allowing yourself to have success. So it's one of these things where we often self-sabotage and hold ourselves back, and more often than not, we're the only people getting in the way of us achieving our goal. So it's important just to let go of anything that you feel is kind of inside that you're holding yourself back to being successful in whatever area that we're looking for. Let go of making it personal. So the thing about setting a goal is it's an objective thing. Okay, it's going to be a number, a target, an aim. It's not a personal thing. So if you've had a goal in the past and you haven't made it or haven't achieved it, doesn't make you a bad person. So we need to let go of that and move forward from it. And if you're holding on to it, it can tend to be really damaging in the long term. So any negative beliefs around goal setting, like I was just talking about before, really important that we let go of those current beliefs and be open to learning something new. Letting go of having to control everything. Say, for example, you set a goal to do 3 workouts a week or 3 boot camps a week, whatever it is, and 1 week you get flooded in and you can't drive to boot camp or something like that. Obviously that goal then becomes pretty hard to achieve, and some people find it an easy opportunity to throw the towel in and ditch the rest of it. So we can't control everything. Things will happen. We'll have to adapt along the way, and that's cool. Just be open to that and open to changing as we go. Letting go of the end result and not becoming too results focused. So the whole thing about tonight is we'll set our goal, but then we need to work out what we need to do to achieve it, and we focus on that. So we focus on the action plan and the action tasks as opposed to the end result. Okay, Kieran Perkins is an example. So back in the day when Kieran Perkins was backing up his gold medal from, I think it was Barcelona, so he was getting ready for the Atlanta Olympics, and all he was thinking about was winning the gold at the Atlanta Olympics. Now what he forgot to do were all the little things every day that he was doing to win his gold medal at Barcelona in the first place. So he got to the Australian trials that year, which was I think 96, and he almost actually didn't even make the Australian team. So you can imagine it's impossible to defend your Olympic title if you don't make the Australian team first. Okay, so he just scraped in by the skin of his teeth, and that was the wake-up call he needed. So he had a 3-month period of training in between then and Atlanta, and he looks back now and tells everybody that was the most intense he's ever worked, because it reminded him to go back to the daily action tasks that he needed to do to get his end result, okay, and trust in the fact that if he did those things, he would get the result in the end. And as the story goes, he ended up winning gold, backing up his Olympic title. So pretty great story and a great reminder for us to focus on the things we need to do, as opposed to just thinking, that end goal. So if you're trying to lose 5 kilos, we don't want to be thinking about the 5 kilos. We want to be thinking about getting up in the morning and getting to boot camp, or going for that run, or looking after our nutrition each day, that kind of stuff. Okay, cool. Alrighty, now time to get our thinking caps on and do some work. So if you're listening to the recording here, you want to have a few pieces of paper handy. You guys on the line, you're going to be popping your answers through, but I'd also recommend that you write them down after that. So your top 3 goals in the next 8 weeks. If you've got a good idea of them, you should have a rough idea. I want you to pop them through. I can give you a bit of feedback. If you're struggling, let me know as well. If you're struggling for things like, what should I set a goal on, that kind of jazz. So your top 3 goals for the next 8 weeks. And you can pop them through one at a time, so I can share, and that might give some other people some ideas as well. So it could be a weight loss goal, it could be a running goal, it could be, like I said before, a bridge goal or a strength goal. It could be push-ups, sit-ups in a minute or something like that. It could be a waist measurement, it could be fitting into a certain pair of jeans or an outfit or something like that. Something that's important to you. Okay, we've got one come through here. Cool. So to get under 75 kgs, that's great. So that's specific. Good. Not sure what else. So what we could do possibly, Linda, is look at a running goal. So I know you've been doing your 3K runs on the treadmill. So possibly we could set a time for that. What could be a reasonable goal to get your 3K time down to? Or do you want to set a distance goal? So it might be to be able to get your run up to 6Ks without stopping in the 8 weeks. All right, cool. So we've got plan to lose 7 kilos by April 12th. Now, just thinking off the top of my head, that's about 8 weeks, I'm guessing. Yep. So you just planned ahead 8 weeks. That's cool. Now, the one thing that I would change there, Rachel, is your language. So, the saying that I plan to lose 7 kilos is almost, I guess, setting yourself up to be able to back out of it, because you just, I'm planning to do that. So we want to change your language to make it a bit more certain and definite. So, I will lose 7 kilos by April 12th would be a much more powerful statement than I plan. Okay, cool. But that's great. That's a great goal to have. Awesome. All right, cool. So we've got 1 each there. We need at least 1 or 2 more. Cool. So you want to set a time, Linda, for your 3K. So the first question would be when or how long is it taking you at the moment, and then we can work out a realistic improvement for that. So if you can remember how long last time it took you, or on average. That'd be sweet. All right, so what else have we got? So, Linda, if you can pop through your time. Rachel, what else do you want to achieve? Cool. All right, I like this one. I will be able to run 10 kilometers within 55 minutes by the 12th of April. Cool. Now, what I would be interested in is where that number 55 comes from. So, do you have a benchmark? Like, have you done a recent run that we can have a look at the time, just to make sure that's a realistic time to achieve as well? Cool. Okay, so Linda usually end up doing 5 kilometers, best time 38 minutes. So, what if we do a 5k time then? If we, because that gives us a good, a time frame, and I think we could certainly knock 4 minutes off it. So, what if we said 5k in under 34 minutes? And I think that's a really realistic goal. And if we happen to, beat that beforehand, then we just reset it and make it a bit further. Okay, cool. So a bit of a runner from the past, Rach, so just got to basically get back into it. Okay, cool. Sweet. So that's certainly achievable in that case. That's great. And obviously dropping some of that weight off will help big time with the running as well. So those two goals for both of you guys are really complementary, which is super. Okay. So good. Now we're clear. We've got 2 goals each to go and attack, which is great. Now, top goal. So I'm guessing that's going to be the one that you said first. So for both of you, that was the weight loss goal. Now, what I want to know, but not only do I want to know, I want you to really clarify it for yourself, are the top 3 reasons for you wanting to achieve that. And we want to get as deep on these reasons as we can. So there's a good chance I'll ask you why at least a couple of times. So bear that in mind. So we don't want to just be like, oh, because I want to be healthy or something like that. Really, why do you want to achieve it? Top 3 reasons. Just as many reasons as you can list out. So the reason why we do this is because if we can kind of, I guess, make it really clear in your mind why you must achieve this goal, then all of a sudden the motivation for doing it increases dramatically. You've got a whole bunch of solid reasons why, and it's very difficult then to back away from it. Cool. Okay, so we've got feel good about myself and confident again. So based on that statement, I would be saying that that you're not feeling confident at the moment. So if we dig a little bit deeper on that, how long have you been feeling that way? We've got more energy. Cool. Why do you need more energy? What are you going to get done with all that energy? Want to feel more confident and feel that I look better, don't look like a fatty. Okay, cool. Okay, let me think. Feel more confident. Okay, now the only concern I have with this statement is that you drop 5 kilos, you drop 10 kilos. Is that going to make you more confident? Or are you still going to feel like you're still not there, if that makes sense? So it's important to be confident in our own skin at the same time while we're making this happen. More energy, more achieved. Cool. What more? What are you going to achieve? More time. Yep, more achieved, more time. What are you going to do with that time? So if you get everything done faster, you've got this extra time, apart from going for your runs, what else are you going to do with it? Cool, take dog to the beach, awesome. What else? Cool, want to be happy with my body, cool. Awesome, that's good. And then I'd still ask why. Relax with the kids, great. Awesome, that's a good one. Cool, anything else? What else do you want to do with your time? Why is that important to you, relaxing with the kids? Is that something you don't have enough time to do at the moment? So the thing is, if we can make a direct link to you achieving this goal and all these other positive things that are going to happen in your life as a result of that, all of a sudden those connections in your brain become a lot stronger, and all of a sudden you're going to actually go out and do these things as opposed to putting them off because their priority or their ranking in your value system has gone up a whole bunch of times, if that makes sense. Cool. So don't make time because you're being lazy. And it's funny how life's a mirror. So, if you're being lazy on your exercise, you're going to be lazy in a whole bunch of other areas as well. So if you start with your exercise, get that sorted, it can be a good way to get the rest of our life sorted as well. Cool. That's right. I should say you didn't, not that you don't. Because what we could say there, a different statement would be, up until now, I've been too lazy to make the time. Yep. Which leaves the door open for us to change that behaviour. Okay, that was cool, guys. Thanks for sharing there. So we need to come up with some milestones and a progress point. So the logical progress point would be 4 weeks' time. So what are you going to be in 4 weeks' time, weight-wise and running-wise? Where are we going to be to make sure that we're on track to achieve that goal? Cool. Another goal is to get back to not drinking Diet Coke, gradually getting back to drinking a lot of it. Okay, so you find yourself slipping back into that old behavior. You've already identified that it's a problem, so that is the first step towards fixing it. The next step will be putting in an action plan to make it happen. So that's what we can talk about in a second. A good way to do that could be as simple as every time you feel like a Diet Coke, you could eat some chewing gum or clean your teeth. All of a sudden, you're not going to feel like it anymore. Tastes terrible after cleaning your teeth. Okay, so milestone. 4 weeks' time, what are we going to be doing? Where are we going to be? Cool, okay, 4 weeks you need to be at 65 kilo, or 64 kilo, sorry, or thereabouts. Now, I'm guessing that's halfway for your 7 kilo weight loss, but fill me in if I'm wrong. And again, what we just changed there is your language, so if that's the case and that's halfway, that will be, in 4 weeks, I will be 4 kilos or lower, okay, or less. So we want to leave the door open to be more successful as well. So same deal, Linda, you say, I will have lost 2.5 kilos, and you can say as a minimum, or more, will have lost 2.5 kilos or more. Leave the door open for greater possibilities, rather than limiting ourselves. Cool, and you've got the rundown to 32 minutes, and I think you mean 36 minutes? Because you're at 38 and we want to get to 34 as minimum, so that would be run down to 36 minutes or less. Cool. Okay, and rates run, yep, here we go. I will be able to run/walk 10 kilometers, okay? Cool, so yeah, first part of that will be getting the 10 Ks under the belt, then we can work that time down to get it under the 55. Cool, alright, you're getting a bit ahead of yourself with the 32. But that's okay, we can make that 32 happen, it's definitely within the realm of possibility, even within that 8 weeks, okay? But we'll start with the 34, then if we smash it, we'll make it 32. Alright. Good stuff, guys. Now, we're going to keep going. The biggest challenge that you're going to face in achieving those 2 goals that we've set for each of you. Okay, what's going to pop up in the next 8 weeks that's going to force you to get uncomfortable and make a sacrifice or two? The weekends, okay? Specifically, what on the weekends? Just the day, Saturday and Sunday, just send shivers down your spine? Or is it going out and drinking, or is it different food on the weekends, out of routine, no workouts? What's the problem with the weekends? Okay, Friday night, glass of wine. Okay, cool. You find that, is it one glass of wine or does one turn into five? Does five wines turn into bad food choices? Okay, so two glasses on a Friday night, same on a Saturday. Are there nibbles that go with that, or is it just the wines? Is two like a conservative number, or sometimes is it more than that? So Linda, from based on our previous times going through, I suppose the challenges that I remember you facing are the pub. So going to the pub, which you've been really good at lately, but I'm sure it's still going to be there. Thursday nights was your night that was struggling with the food some weeks. What else could there be? The Diet Cokes you mentioned, trying to get off them. Okay, cool. So sounds like Rach, you seem to have tamed that down a little bit with the alcohol, which is good. Okay, cool. So maybe we'll get to it in a second, but if that's one of your challenges, we can just set a weekly limit. So it could be 4 glasses a week or 3 glasses a week or something along those lines. So you could either have more on one night or you could space them out a little bit better, a bit more. Okay, cool. So once we've identified the challenge, we need to identify how we're going to overcome it. So like I mentioned before, for you, Rachel, it could be simply setting that limit. Linda, for you, if your Diet Coke, for example, was a challenge, it could be like we mentioned before. Every time you feel like one, you're going to brush your teeth or grab some chewing gum. Cool. So let's identify exactly what we're going to do. So when you find yourself in that temptation situation, what are you going to do about it to make sure that you don't give in? Rachel, it could be every time you have a glass of wine, you have to do some form of exercise the next day. So it could be 30 push-ups, 40 push-ups for every glass, or it could be 20 burpees or grunts per glass. So A, that's going to deter you from drinking too many. B, you're going to be burning off much of what you drink anyway. Okay, so I'll let you decide which one of those options you want to take, but let's make sure we make it public now. So put it on now so that you can commit to it, as opposed to having an exit clause. Cool. Yep, awesome. So here's a good one. So Linda's saying, how are we going to overcome this challenge is by remembering why I want to do this. So that would be consistently getting into your affirmations and possibly putting your goals up and your reasons why up somewhere where you can see them all the time, and ignoring the hubby when he says a few drinks won't hurt, which is a good plan. So maybe just kind of thinking out loud, but when he says something along those lines, then you can take that as like a trigger to remind you to go and read your affirmations or go and look at your goals. Or you might have a picture of your goals on your phone and just open it up and have a squiz at it just to remind you again. So rather than just saying, oh, I'm going to ignore him or ignore that, we want to have an actual action task to do when that situation arises. Okay? So you've got a clear plan then, instead of just hopes and dreams and then one day you forget and all of a sudden 10 drinks later you remember. Okay, 3 daily tasks you can do to get you there. Now, one of these tasks is going to be say your affirmations. Now, You may not know what they are yet, but we'll go through them in a minute, and you can decide on your other two. Okay, cool. All right, this sounds like a good plan here by Rachel. So 1 glass of wine equals 30 crunches, 30 push-ups, 30 squat jumps, done as 3 sets of 10. Okay, that's awesome. So then we could specify possibly that they must be done within 24 hours or something like that, so that you can't just kind of get away with letting them add up and then one day in 8 weeks' time spending the whole day doing squats and sit-ups. Cool. And you can't get the kids to do them for you. Alright, awesome. So 3 daily tasks. 1 is we'll say our affirmations daily. 2, it could be drinking a certain amount of water. It could be a daily quota of exercise. It could be getting your meals for the next day sorted the night before each day. It could be planning out your meals the night before. It could be getting to bed by a certain time if that affects your exercise. I know when I'm tired and all that kind of stuff, my food doesn't go as well, and then as a result of that, I don't train as well. Cool. Eat properly, stick to exercise plan for the day. Cool. That's 2, yep, I only asked you for 2, didn't I? Okay, and the affirmations we add to that list. Alright, so 3 things. I'll give you another bit of time. If you come up with more than 3, that's cool as well. It could be eating breakfast every day, if that's something that you've been slack on, or eating morning tea each day, etc., etc. Okay. Oh, no, I've gone too far. Now, what can you do tonight? So we want to get this ball rolling straight away, right off the bat. So what can you do tonight to make sure that you get started? So is it literally just prepare your snacks for tomorrow? Cool, 1 piece of fruit per day. I like that. Awesome. So what can we do tonight? Can you get your meals ready? Can you plan out your exercise sessions for the week? Can you tell me? What is it for you? Alright, make an exercise plan. Good. So plan out the next 7 days. Cool. Anything else? Plan meals for the week. Cool. Awesome. So get some bit of prep work done. Get the ball rolling. I like it. Cool. So basically, the reason why we want to do this is because we know that if you take action immediately, you're much more likely to follow through on it. Whereas if you sleep on it, you wake up tomorrow, you wake up and there's kids running around and 100 things on to do at work, etc., etc., and all of a sudden you got 10 other things on your plate and you've forgotten about all the stuff that we talked about tonight. I like this one, but I hope you're joking. Linda's saying, drink all the Diet Cokes I have in the cupboard. So let's not do that. But maybe what you can do is give them away. Tip them down the sink would be another option. You go and water your plants with it. Well, they might not like it either. It's probably just as bad for them as it is for you. All right. Now, what we're going to do now is back up our statements with a positive affirmation. Really good lemon drink that has no calories. Even if it's just an interesting point here, Rachel's just saying there's a really good lemon drink with no calories. Whereas not always the calories that are the only thing that we need to look at. So even though there's no calories, which means it would have no sugar in it, it could still have a lot of artificial sweetener in it. If it didn't, it wouldn't taste very good, so I'm guessing it probably does, which often has the same, or does have the same effect as sugar does to our hormones. So when we get that sweet taste, our body produces insulin, which stores a whole bunch of energy in our body, which is not what we want. So what I would say is just avoid all those type of processed sweet drinks and stick to the good old H2O. Especially if our goals are weight loss. Cool. All right. So we're going to get into our positive affirmations. So really important that we back up our statements and get strong with why we're doing them and making it okay for ourselves to achieve these things. So I've got 3 little ways that we can start off an affirmation. So number 1 is I will allow myself to, and then insert what you want to allow yourself to do. So it might be I will allow myself to attain my ideal body weight of 75 kilos by such and such a date, and because I want to feel great, okay, etc., etc. Or I will empower myself with the ability to choose not to drink because I'm in charge of what I put into my body, and I want to wake up in the morning and feel great about myself. Or I will enable myself to make exercise a daily habit so that I can be a positive role model for everyone around me and show them what it's like to be healthy, happy, and awesome. I don't know, whatever you want to put in the end there. So really important that you're using your words, not my words, because it's your affirmation, not mine. So let's just practice a few. What we're going to do is just write them out, okay, pop them through, and I can give you a bit of feedback. We might have to change a few words around here and there just to make them a little bit more powerful, and then we can talk you through how to actually use them. Okay, we've got I will empower myself to achieve my goals. Cool. Why? And I'll get more specific than saying my goals. So I will empower myself to get to 75 kilos and be able to run 5 kilometers under 34 minutes before the 12th of April or whatever the date is, so that I can feel great about my achievements and be a great role model for everyone around me. Something like that. So with our affirmations, excuse me, very rarely will we get them first go, so it might take a few rewrites, and don't be afraid of just sitting there and writing it out 5 or 6 times until you get one that really works. So the way we know it works is the emotional response that you get. So we want to feel really empowered and really strong when we say our affirmation out loud. So if you don't get that emotional response of feeling really pumped up and awesome, then it's probably not the right affirmation for you and it's just not quite resonating. So it's important that we change it until it does. Okay, here we go. I will empower myself to achieve my goals of losing 5 kilos and doing a 5k run in 34 minutes. Remember, or under though, we want to add that. I will enable myself to eat a good diet which does not include any Diet Coke. That's great. What I would say is that end bit, we can change that a little bit. So as soon as you say the words Diet Coke, your brain's going to start thinking about that, which is going to make your job a little bit harder of not having it. So instead of saying that, I will enable myself to eat a good diet, including heaps of fresh water, or heaps of fresh fruit and lots of water. Something like that might work a little bit better. Then you're thinking about fruit and water as opposed to thinking about Diet Coke and that you're not allowed to have any. So it just keeps you in a more positive mind frame, thinking about what we need to do as opposed to what we don't want to do or what we can't do. Cool. Okay, I will ensure I make time every day to exercise so I can be as energetic as I like to be. What I would say is possibly we get more specific at the end. So maybe something like you mentioned the kids before, so that I can have more energy for the kids and be a great role model for them. So I'm guessing that the kids are really important to you, so if we can include them in there, it makes the whole statement a whole heap more powerful.
Let's do it, and let's do it smart. What are you doing?
Cool, and we've got be a great role model is good. Awesome. Okay, cool. So you guys are pretty well, do another remake of that and play around with a few different words. Remember the test, say it out loud with a bit of purpose. And if it makes you feel great, then you're on to a winner. Here we go, beautiful. Just change those words now, that's good. So I'll enable myself to eat a good diet, including lots of fresh fruit and water. Perfect. All right, great. Now the way we're going to use these affirmations is, the number one way that I like to use them is driving. So in the car, and you can just say them out loud, and you can say them with a lot of purpose. Whereas if you're at home kind of shouting out your affirmations, obviously people will hear that and you might feel a bit uncomfortable. But in the car, you can just crank it out, wind the windows up so no one can hear, and bust it out. And I like to do it every time I drive past a certain point, which just acts as a trigger for me to remember to do it. Okay? So that's the way I would do it. And at least twice a day is best, sometime in the morning and sometime in the evening. So to bear that in mind. So we'll make that part of your 3 things that you can do every day, is to say my affirmation twice daily. Okay? And what that does is reinforces to our brain that we're doing the right thing and we're on the right track and to keep going. Okay? As opposed to letting all those little things in everyday life that can creep in and cause us to get back stuck into our old habits, which got us to where we are. So we need to change them. Okay, now what I want to know from you guys on the line, Linda and Rach, is your biggest take home from tonight's session. So what's the one thing that you're most happy about? Is it just having a goal? Is it coming up with an affirmation? Is it just setting some time for yourself and getting started on a new plan, as opposed to just kind of ticking along? Is it good just to have a clear target now? So the one thing we just want to really reinforce in your own mind what the biggest take home for you is, so that you can make sure you go out and do it. Cool. So Rach likes what she has to do after a glass of wine. So just coming up with that little bit of a discipline, I guess, consequence, positive consequence when she has a glass of wine. So that's cool. Okay, cool. So Linda likes having some goals, but still feels like she wants another goal. So what if we look at Linda coming up with the strength goal? So have a think about what's most important to you in that department. It could be a bridge hold, could be a set number of push-ups, could be a deadlift weight. That'd be the 3 big ones, I'd say. So push-up, bridge hold, or deadlift. Have a think. Maybe one of those sounds like a cool thing. Or it could be a bike riding goal. If you set a little circuit up around Redcliffe that you'd like to ride, do it one day, see what time you get, and then we can set a goal to beat it. I guess things to consider there would be traffic and whatnot, if that can get in your way. Okay, so that's cool. So what I'm going to walk you through now is a little. Here we go. Bike ride one. Okay, cool. So plan of attack there. Do a set bike ride. It might just be even a sprint ride over the bridge and back, and then we can get a time for it, and then we can work on beating it, just like we're doing with the run time. Okay, so what I'm going to walk you through now are a couple of options for where to go from here. Okay, so especially you guys listening at home that haven't been able to join us live today. So, two options. Option number one is to take what you've learnt and go out and apply it. And if that's the option that you choose, that's awesome. And I wish you all the best with that. Option number two is we've got a program coming up that allows me to personally help you through the next 8 weeks to help you make these goals achievable and make sure you get them done, holding you accountable every step of the way and making sure that we overcome any challenges together and that you can come out at the end of it achieving the best possible result. So what does that mean? It means we have a special offer for you, okay? This is for people who want to be held accountable over the next 8 weeks. It's for people who want a support team in their corner for when things get hard, okay? If you're sick of doing it on your own and doing it the hard way and not getting the results that you wanted. It's for people that want to be sure they're doing the right things to achieve their goals. So often, we have a goal, we go out there and do some stuff, but it might not be the most efficient way to make it happen. And more than likely in that case, you probably won't end up achieving your goal. Or you're going to have to make some huge sacrifices. And it's for people who want to achieve their goals yesterday. So if you just want the fastest possible way to make it happen, then stay listening. You're listening to the right person at the right time. So we've got our 8-week body transformation challenge coming up, okay? So what you'll get in this is everyday access to me for 8 weeks via a private forum that we have set up where you will report your nutrition and exercise each day to myself and the rest of the group so that we can hold you accountable and that I can give you some feedback and help each day, okay? So to make sure that A, you're in the right mindset each day, you're getting your affirmations done, and you're getting a whole bunch of other things done which we'll work on during the course of the program. You get 4 webinars similar to tonight where we'll set goals for each fortnight. We will discuss your results from the previous fortnight, set an action plan for the fortnight, as well as reviewing. And we'll be holding those every second Monday night, I should say, at 7 p.m. Okay, to get your week and your fortnight kicked off on the right foot. And then I can keep you accountable to all the things that you said you're going to do during our forum time. You're going to have a support team helping you every step of the way. So me and everybody else on the challenge as well will be there and acting as a support network when things get tough or to give you a high five when you've done really well. You'll get access to our membership website with hundreds of workouts, videos, plus stacks more stuff in there as well. Different videos with experts, etc., as well as areas where you can just ask questions and other things. You'll get access to me and my intellectual property and experience in helping hundreds of people get what they want out of their fitness and weight loss goals. Okay, so that's what you're going to get, and that's what our 8-week transformation challenge is, and it's really awesome. Linda on the line's done a few of ours, and she's already signed up for this one, so she's doing awesome. And our offer for tonight is going to be limited to only 10 people. Okay, so you might be sitting there saying, well, what is the offer? Okay, and that's cool because I'm going to tell you exactly what it is. So normally to have that amount of time with me helping you personally, you'd be looking at over $1,200, okay, which I believe will be a great investment in any case. Now today you're not going to pay that, so good news for you. Can if you want, mind you. I'll leave that. We're talking about leaving the door open for better. Okay, you can pay that if you want. So you won't even pay half of that. You won't even pay half of that. So you won't even pay a quarter of what it's worth. Okay. Now, oh, my button's not working. Now, you won't even actually pay $150 as part of our special offer tonight. So it's pretty awesome. This will fill up quickly once this recording goes out to our entire list. So you can be a part of our exclusive 8-week challenge for an investment of one-off payment of $147. Okay, so pretty simple. $147. You'll get the 8 weeks of me, our 4 webinars, website access, and me holding your hand throughout the entire process, making sure that you're successful in your goals. Okay. First 10 are in. That's how simple it is. All right. Now, when I say first 10 are in, we've already got. I'd have to check my numbers. Either 3 or 4 people that are confirmed. So that number is either 6 or 7, okay, not 10 anymore. So what you need to do is text me your name and that you want to be a part of it. If you haven't got my phone number, get a pen. It is 0425 354 391. Okay, so if you want in, text me that ASAP. You'll get a call. If you are on the line tonight, you'll get a call from me tonight. If not, you'll get a call obviously after you send that text through tomorrow some stage. Okay, and we can organise your payment via a credit card over the phone. Very simple, first in, best dress, and there are 10 spots available. Like I said, that number is more like 6 now, either 6 or 7. Okay, but we will be sticking to that 10. So very, very simple. That's it from me tonight. So I just want to thank you guys who made the effort to get online, which will be Linda and Rach. My apologies for not having more people on. It's just it was one of those weeks and all of a sudden we didn't have much time to get the thing out there. But we'll have our recording going out. So if you guys want to have another listen, you feel more than free. And we'll have the recording going out to the rest of the list tomorrow so that they can be a part of it as well. So I'd just like to thank you guys for being on the line, and I hope you got a heap out of it, and I look forward to working with you both in the near future. So thanks guys, and thanks for everyone listening at home, and I'll talk to you very soon, hopefully as part of our 8-week challenge. Alrighty, that's it from me. Have a great night. Bye.